What is E20 petrol and how will it affect your vehicle? Indian petrol already contains 10% alcohol. The launch of the E20 pilot can help the country further reduce its dependence on fossil fuels. On Monday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched a pilot for E20 or petrol blended with 20% ethanol at the Indian Energy Week in Bengaluru, bringing forward by 2 years the launch of a cleaner burning version of petrol. Times of India does a deep dive. What is ethanol blending? Ethyl alcohol or ethanol, C2H2OH, is a biofuel that is made naturally by fermenting sugar derived from sugarcane or other organic matter like food grains. As part of its carbon reduction commitments, India has launched the Ethanol Blended Petrol (EBP) program to mix this biofuel with petrol to reduce the consumption of petrol. India has already met its E10 target, so petrol used in the country has 10% ethanol in it. The E20 pilot covers at least 15 cities and will be rolled out across the country in a phased manner. Why increased blending? India imported 185 million tons of petrol at a cost of $551 billion in 2020 to 2021. As most of the petroleum products are used in transportation, a successful E20 program can save the country $4 billion or rupees 30,000 crore per annum. Besides, ethanol is a less polluting fuel and offers equivalent efficiency at a lower cost than petrol, says a report by a special expert committee set up by the center. Availability of large arable land, rising production of food grains and sugarcane leading to surpluses, availability of technology to produce ethanol from plant based sources, and feasibility of making vehicles compliant to ethanol blended petrol make E20 not only a national imperative but also an important strategic requirement, it says. What research shows? An Indian study on the suitability of using E20 in existing vehicles found metals and metal coatings had no issue with E20. Elastomers had inferior performance with E20 compared to neat gasoline. Plastic PA66 had a drop in tensile strength after use with E20. Automotive Research Association of India ARAI, Indian Institute of Petroleum IIP, and Indian Oil Corporation R&D that did the research in 2014-15 also found that fuel economy decreased by up to 6% depending on the vehicle type on average. However, the test vehicles passed startability and drivability tests under hot and cold conditions with pure petrol and E20 test fuels. In all the cases, there was no severe malfunction or stall observed at any stage of vehicle operation. No abnormal wear of engine components or deposits or deterioration of engine oils were observed after the on-road mileage accumulation trials. Joint studies reported by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology (MIT) and Honda R&D indicate improvement in relative efficiency up to 20% can be achieved with E20 compared with normal gasoline when the engine is properly tuned. Trials by Ford Motor Company concluded an engine optimized for E20 fuel showed comparable volumetric fuel economy, mileage, and range kilometers traveled on a single fill of normal gasoline with a CO2 reduction of 5%. Environmental impact, pointing out that vehicular emissions such as carbon monoxide CO, hydrocarbons HC, and oxides of nitrogen NOx are currently under regulation in India. The Central Committee's reports argues that ethanol blended gasoline decreases these emissions. Higher reductions in carbon monoxide emissions were observed with E20 fuel, 50% lower in two-wheelers and 30% lower in four-wheelers. Hydrocarbon emissions are reduced by 20% with ethanol blends compared to normal gasoline. Nitrous oxide emissions did not show a significant trend as it depended on the vehicle or engine type and engine operating conditions, the report said. The unregulated carbonyl emissions, such as acetaldehyde, were higher with E10 and E20 compared with normal gasoline due to the presence of hydroxyl groups in ethanol. However, these emissions were relatively minor a few micrograms compared with regulated emissions which were in grams. Evaporative emission test results with E20 fuel were similar to neat petrol. Overall, ethanol blending can help decrease emissions from both two-wheelers and four-wheelers, the report added. Mileage might suffer. E20 users in cities where the pilot has been launched might notice a 6 to 7% drop in fuel efficiency in four-wheelers designed for pure petrol and calibrated for E10. Two-wheelers with these characteristics will see a 3 to 4% drop in efficiency. Four-wheelers designed for E10 and calibrated for E20 can expect a 1 to 2% drop in efficiency. However, with engine modifications, the loss in efficiency can be reduced. Also, test vehicles pass startability and drivability tests at hot and cold conditions with both pure petrol and E20 test fuel. In all the cases, there was no severe malfunction or stall observed at any stage of vehicle operation. Rising demand. How much ethanol would India need for blending? The answer will depend on the government's blending mandates, widespread availability of the fuel and compatible vehicles, and fulfillment of other infrastructural requirements. India's vehicle population of 22 crore 2 and 3 wheelers and around 3.6 crore 4 wheelers is likely to grow rapidly. The country's molasses based distilleries had the capacity to make around 278 crore liters of alcohol in 2017-18. Since then, 238 projects for a capacity enhancement of 583 crore liters have been approved, and it is expected that additional capacity of at least 400 crore liters will be added by 2024.